17-3 here in Atlanta at halftime. LSU in front. And now we're ready for the annual Dr. Pepper tuition giveaway. It's pretty simple. 2 contestants, 30 seconds. Whoever throws the most passes into the giant Dr. Pepper cans wins $100,000 in tuition money. Let's go down to Jamie Erdahl.
Since 2008, Dr. Pepper has given away $10 million in tuition to deserving students, and we have 2 more contestants here today that have the opportunity to win tuition. Max Wunschie from Clemson University and Andrea Gather-Cole from Baylor University, both seniors. Andrea, I'll start with you. I know you're pre-med. What would you do if you won the tuition money here today?
This tuition money would take a huge financial burden off my family and I would be able to go to medical school, and it would be able to help pay for that and alleviate some of the costs.
All right, good luck. And Max, I know growing up in rural South Carolina led you towards your dream. What would you do if you won the tuition money?
Yeah, this tuition will go a long way to help me pay for vet school. And just like she said, release that burden from my family and me. So it'd just be a great opportunity.
All right, I'm sure they've practiced fiercely, so let's get them set up for the Dr. Pepper tuition giveaway. Let's go, guys. Let's go. All right, they go to Baylor and Clemson, but both of these students hail from SEC country, so cheer them on. We got one from Baton Rouge and one from South Carolina. Mr. Official, get them ready. Andrea's out to an early lead. Both going with the chest pass fiercely. It's tough to pick up these footballs quickly and get the throw turned back around. Max is coming back, catching up with Andrea, but she has gained an early lead. It's getting closer. Andrea is our winner for the Dr. Pepper tuition giveaway. Here she comes. She's in shock. Congratulations. Here to present the tuition check to our winner is Jim Terbilcock, Chief Sales Officer.
Andrea, congratulations on behalf of Dr. Pepper and our bottling partners from around the United States. Congratulations, and here is your check for $100,000 in tuition. Well done.
Andrea, you are showing so much emotion right now. How do you feel?
This is just absolutely surreal. I just want to thank God, 1 Peter 5:10, and I want to thank Dr. Pepper for this amazing experience and for helping college students all over the United States. And also want to thank everybody, all my loved ones and family and friends back in Baton Rouge, Natchitoches, Waco, and Houston. Thank you all so much.
Congratulations, Andrea. And remember, Max also won today. He will go home with $25,000 in tuition. But let's hear it one more time for our winner from Baylor University, Andrea. Off to medical school, we hope.
Thank you all so much. Thank you, Dr.
Well, the only hotter passer today in Atlanta than Andrea has been Joe Burrow. Congratulations to her. Stay tuned. Zook, Rick, BJ will be along with the Geico halftime report after these messages and a word from your local station.
The 22 on the field, they don't just represent these guys here, but our military all over the world.
Touchdown, Navy. What a drive. And a touchdown. What an opening march. You kind of throw the records out the window when these two get together.
CBS Sports presents the Geico Halftime Report. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Darkness outside the glass ceiling here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium with the score LSU on top of Georgia 17-3 as we welcome you all to the Geico Halftime Report. Adam Zucker back with you, joined by Rick Neuheisel and Brian Jones. And that score of 17-3, it could be worse.
Oh, absolutely.
For the Dogs right now.
Absolutely, it could be worse. The big story in the first half are the injuries sustained by that Georgia offense. They lost a wide receiver early in the game, Dominic Blaylock making a catch on 3rd down here. First down catch, but lost seemingly for the rest of the game. They could ill afford attrition at that position. And then quarterback Jake Fromm right here. Looks like his ankle gets twisted awkwardly. He would return, but I'm telling you, there could be some swelling at halftime. We'll look at his mobility in the second half. And on the other side, paging Dr. Burrow. This guy is a surgeon. Look at him just deal to Jamar Chase down there trying to take time in the three-man pressure. Here he puts Justin Jefferson in the backfield. They get the first down. Heck, he's even completing passes to himself. This guy is off the charts, over 200 yards passing against the number 2 defense in the country.
That's when you know you're hotter than a frying pan right there, man. I tell you what, when you look at Jake Fromm, though, we've been perplexed as what's been ailing him as far as his completion percentage. Now, I like how aggressive they were starting this ball game. First play, they go deep. Now, ball's little underthrown. Tyler Simmons to probably haul that pass in. Then he overshoots Dominique Blaylock, little out route, or corner route, I should say. And then, once again, underthrows his receiver. Simmons there, Derek Stingley Jr. with the interception for LSU. DeAndre Swift, he's the alpha dog on this football team. They've used him myriad ways, not necessarily at the running back position because of that banged shoulder. Quick out there when he's in the H-back position. You see the jet sweep here, trying to get him outside into space. Nothing is working. No rushes on the afternoon for DeAndre Swift currently.
And both teams have had key drops. And Jake Fromm started 2 for 6, trying to make it a 17-10 game. Ends up throwing his first interception since the South Carolina loss. But Gary Danielson's already joined you, Rick, on calling Joe Burrow the next Tom Brady, adding that he's more athletic, in fact, than TB12. It's unbelievable to have that being said here. Can Jake Fromm actually rescue these guys is the question here.
Well, we've got to see his health. We get George Pickens back in the second half. We'll see if he becomes a valuable weapon there into the boundary.
They made some hay there. Fromm comes back onto the field after the ankle injury, and they were finding some opening. The receivers were getting there. Unfortunately, that underthrow where Stingley picked them off, or else they would have probably gotten in the red zone and maybe got another field goal.
And again, it could be worse than 17-3, beyond just that missed field goal, that drop touchdown. Remember, next Saturday, be sure to join us for an American tradition, the 120th Army-Navy game presented by USAA. Games at 3. Our coverage begins at 2:30 Eastern from the sideline. When we come back, we'll update you on other championship game action and get into how it all affects the college football playoff selection tomorrow when the Geico Halftime Report continues.
The SEC Championship on CBS, presented by Dr. Pepper, is sponsored by The Home Depot, Geico, Sonic, and by Dr. Pepper.
Back to the Geico Halftime Report. A reminder, there's basketball going on right now over on CBS Sports Network. It's number 15 Memphis and UAB. That's right now, followed by Arkansas and Western Kentucky. Memphis and UAB had their football teams in action today as well. So let's hit that scoreboard. Starting with the Big 12 championship game, Oklahoma trying to win it for the 5th straight year. We had overtime, BJ.
Yeah, Ramondre Stevenson scores on a 5-yard run here on 4th down. Baylor down to their 3rd-string quarterback. Jacob Zeno feeling a little pressure. He's got to get rid of it. And he gets rid of it to no one in particular. Oklahoma wins 5th straight Big 12 championship, 13th championship in the Big 12 as well.
And we've seen Jalen Hurts share some hugs on this weekend. His Alabama career coming full circle in this building a year ago. And now he's rooting for LSU so that Oklahoma can hear their name and go to the CFP. Otherwise, it's the Sugar Bowl as Oklahoma beats Baylor for the 2nd time this season. All right, and for the 2nd time in 2 weeks, Cincinnati and Memphis in Memphis, this time for the American Championship.
Yes, the title's on the line. Brady White looks out, looks back for a tight end, doesn't find him, says, I'll do it myself. Gets the touchdown. That gives Memphis the lead 17-14, but here come the Bearcats. They give it to Michael Warren, who would score for the 2nd time on the day. There have been 4 lead changes. Memphis would answer with a field goal. It's 21-20. This one is going down to the wire, gang.
Yeah, 3rd quarter right now. Michael Warren coming in with 3 straight 100-yard games, but Kenneth Gainwell, the guy to watch for Memphis down the stretch in that one. Both of these teams trying to be the team from the group of 5 that gets that New Year's 6 slot. But Boise says, what about us, BJ?
We have the two highest scoring teams in the Mountain West, Boise and Hawaii. But it's another third-string quarterback. What am I, the third-string announcer?
It's the jacket.
It's the jacket. Jalen Henderson to John Hightower on a 36-yard touchdown. 14 points by Boise in the final minute, 7 seconds. 2 TD passes by Jalen Henderson.
Yeah, 2 TDs in the final 107 of that half. So 17-3, the Broncos, they scored 59 on them earlier this year. Now, meanwhile, Florida Atlantic dominating the CUSA title game, not distracted by news that Lane Kiffin is on his way to Ole Miss to take over the job and come back to the SEC to troll Nick Saban some more on Twitter. Miami, Ohio beat Central Michigan for a record 16th MAC championship over former Gators head coach Jim McElwain. App State, 4th straight Sun Belt title. First FBS team ever from North Carolina to have 12 wins in a season. And Alcorn State on top right now in the SWAC championship. So let's put it all together here and add on the fact that number 5 Utah went down last night after falling behind 20-0 to Oregon. But it's pretty simple here. If Georgia wins, they're in, and if they lose, Oklahoma.
It looks as if Oklahoma is very comfortable right now, but I wouldn't put it past the committee. Should Georgia fight their way back into this game, it becomes a really narrow defeat for the Bulldogs for them to go ahead of Oklahoma.
I don't see that happening. Both of those teams you just mentioned are brand names. Oklahoma won its conference championship. Georgia, if it's a close one and they don't win, they're not going to get in. Oklahoma will get that 4th spot, and their defense is garnering much, much better ratings than criticism as opposed to years past.
Give Alex Grinch all the credit in the world. That was great defense today for the Sooners.
And here's the other thing. There's a couple of things to talk about. One is if LSU ends up doubling this and it's 34-6, do they have a shot at being number 1 no matter what Ohio State does? And what if Clemson loses? Are you have them locked up?
No, actually, I think Clemson has to win to get in, given the strength of their schedule in the ACC. I know Dabo Swinney doesn't like to hear it and thinks their team is underappreciated. They have won lopsided fashion, but the schedule has been weak. I think they have to win. I expect them to win. But ultimately, I think LSU, by virtue of a victory today, especially as it looks as they're playing now, I think they deserve the number 1 spot.
Well, let's start with Clemson. I think they built up enough political capital, if you will. They have that cachet climbing Mount Saban, as you like to call it, twice to 2 national titles. I don't care what their resume says, what the numbers are, lack of numbers there are by their opponents. They boat raced everyone by at least 30 points. Defense is now allowing over 300 yards of total offense to opposing teams. So they're getting in. They're getting in.
Well, the numbers say that their defense is even better this year. Of course, this is also a time of year where teams who are far from making the playoff are getting rid of their head coaches, and the coaching carousel is spinning mightily. And some of them already filled, of course, including in the last couple hours. But Greg Schiano indeed is going back to Rutgers. Jimmy Lake replacing Chris Peterson, who decided to go on hiatus. Lane Kiffin, it's official now. Ole Miss is confirming that he is coming back to replace Matt Luke, and we know how much fun Lane Kiffin is to have in the SEC. And Mike Norvell from Memphis, they also are in a game right now, but he's reportedly going to take over for Florida State. Chad Morris, of course, Arkansas looking for his replacement. You also hear these, contract extensions getting done, and that's an effect of these schools looking for replacements. But the Boston Herald reporting that Buckeyes defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley is a top candidate for BC, and of course Missouri has to replace Barry Odom. A reminder, the NFL on CBS kicks off tomorrow with a doubleheader. Most will see the Ravens and Bills, followed by the Chiefs and Patriots. That's the real Tom Brady, It all gets started at noon Eastern with the NFL today. So, Georgia, how do they stay in this? Because it feels worse than the score right now, right? That is the big question.
The good news for Georgia, they're 3 for 8 on 3rd down. If they can find a way to get this to be a 1-score game in the 4th quarter, they'll be in it. This is a decided Georgia crowd.
Continue to protect Jake Fromm. LSU has to bring 5 or 6 to get pressure on him. Only 1 sack thus far, and that was Delpit.
There you go. Thank you for watching the Geico Halftime Report. Coming up, Brad, Gary, and Jamie back with the second half of Georgia and LSU. Enjoy the rest of the game.
CBS Sports presents the Geico Halftime Report. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.